Thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 1 week after the tragedy that hit Tudun Biri in Kaduna State, where the army inadvertently bombed and killed more than 85 persons. More people are calling for justice for the victims. This time, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar, has joined others to demand justice for the victims. The revered monarch, who confirmed that the presidency has directed an investigation into the unfortunate incident, said no efforts can bring back life lost, but there should be adequate compensation for the victims. In fact, a lot of northern leaders, elders, they've been talking, but I read one from Sheikh Gumi today, and I didn't totally agree with him, but he said poverty is killing us. The situation, the people are meant to be protecting us are bombing us. That's that tragedy will continue to generate criticism,
yes,
mistake by the Nigerian army.
Yes, that is why this sort of thing should not have happened. It is better to let the bandits get away than to kill innocent people. And we are not talking about one person. We are talking about, even by NEMA's original reports, 85 dead, 66 injured. But I know that since that day, they've been bringing even more injured persons. You know, some ran into the bush.
Yeah.
They've been bringing more injured persons.
Discovered that there are more than 66
So it's
injured.
more than 66. By the same token, you can say that it is more than 85 persons that have died. Because when people are injured, some will succumb to their injuries.
Yes.
Some the injuries will be so severe that they are only hanging on, by threat. They are only hanging on to life by threat. So in such a situation, you know that more people will die from their injuries. We don't have the health care facilities that can ensure that in moments of adversity like this, of calamity of this nature, we can keep the casualty low. No, it's just we don't have. I'm sure now that even the facilities and the hospitals are overstretched. Some of the admitted people were on the floor.
Because they've never experienced something like this from this kind of calamity at the same time.
A busy hospital in the first place. And then suddenly a deluge of patients coming. Where do you admit them? You are not going to discharge those who are originally on their beds in the hospital because you want to bring in new people. So some are even on the bed, on the bare floor. So it's a calamity. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Bombs being dropped on innocent people. It's been happening for years. It's even speculated that between 2015 and today, we have lost more than 500 people to this kind of killings.
Some innocent people in IDP.
Some they don't get reported. You know, yes, in Iran, inside an IDP camp.
You know how densely populated.
There was a funeral procession that they dropped the bomb on. A funeral procession. So this sort of things can turn the people against the army. There was no need for it.
Costly mistake.
And you must give yourself time. The army, they've been shouting they want army aviation. And I'm saying, take your time. Perfect your own area of core competence.
Armor,
before moving into aviation, for God's sake. You have armor, you have artillery, you have infantry. You know, different arms of the army. You have the engineering corps.
So just leave the aviation.
Leave aviation is for some time, at least until we can say yes, you have capacity, because you've not been doing it for years. Those who have been doing it for years, even they are killing innocent people.
So, and it's not something you can be experimenting.
Exactly, with drones. With drones, look, of all the air platforms, the one that usually causes this kind of death, that has the high capacity to cause this kind of collateral damage, is the drones on manned area vehicles. Because if, for example, I was flying an helicopter, a ground attack helicopter. They just usually go on high altitude. And that's why Boko Haram fears them a lot, because you are seeing what is about to kill you. It's not dropping bombs on you from high altitude. If a B-52 bomber is to drop a bomb on you, are not likely to see it, because it's flying from very high altitude. And sometimes, too, because of the high altitude, because of flying from high altitude, to achieve precision is always difficult, because they're so far away. The bomb in coming down can change its direction because of the distance. It's not so. In this kind of situation, I believe that an helicopter would probably have been even better. But helicopters too, because they are susceptible to being shot down.
Yeah.
By anti-aircraft.
Even AK,
you can see them.
Yes, if it's too.
Yes, if it's too. If you fire at the right,
yes,
maybe where there is no thick armor, you can bring it down. So even a farmer brought down the Apache helicopter in Iraq. A farmer with his gun. It's not. You can't have an aircraft that everywhere is armor plated. There will be some parts of it that are not armor plated. If they can target such a place, it's coming down. So we need to do our best not to kill our people. We kill people in Nasarawa. We kill people in Zamfara. We kill people in Kalabalge local government of Borno State. And it just must not continue. We have to be more careful. We have to be more careful. If you are not doubly sure, don't drop that bomb. And that's why, in my view, even for this kind of thing, drones, yes, drones, they've been useful, but we have to reduce the rate at which we use the drones. Because the drone does not have a pilot. Even if intelligence is wrong, you program the drone to go and drop the bomb at a particular location. It's not going to take a last-minute decision that, these people that I'm seeing, they look like women and children. They don't look like
it's programmed already.
So let me turn back. No, the drone will simply do the job that you sent it. You know? It's like you hold your remote. You want to watch Man U being disgraced by Bournemouth, or you want to watch Arsenal, the so-called placeholder, being beaten by Aston Villa. You are the one who pressed to the channel where they are showing it. It's going to show you what you asked for. You know? So I think the chief of army minister who said this will not happen again. Ayo. The only guarantee that will not happen again is if the army stay clear of flying area vehicles or flying helicopters.
Should allow the Navy to do that.
Let the Air Force focus on that.
Well, they are talking about compensation. Now, the number of families to be compensated, we don't have database, we don't keep figure. At the end of the day, we were deliberating in the newsroom the other time, and they said over 120 people might have died.
You see, there is no amount of money you can pay that you can buy one human life in the market. So, compensation is good, but the damage has been done.
Yes.
How much compensation you want to pay, that one is secondary. The important thing is that you know that in 2017 about 52 people were killed, about 120 people wounded in ID camps in Borno State, aero bombing. So I think, just like Babajide has said, we must ensure this does not happen again. Well, it's not as if it's peculiar only to Nigeria, and that's why we should ask people not to politicize it or to turn it into a religious, issue, because there is a limit to technology. Even advanced countries, they do have that challenge. In 2016, the U.S. bombed a village. About 120 people died in Syria. They thought ISIS was building the camp there. They turned out to be very wrong. Also in Iraq, in 2017, they bombed a car that was, a dark-colored car, thinking it was a car bomb. But it turned out to be a man, his wife, and 2 children. And there was also a case in 2020 that they bombed, a place. 10 people, 7 of them children. US, with all the sophistication, and even NATO has made such mistakes in the past. So this is a human error, but it's an avoidable human error. Because technology, you can have blurred images, you can have flawed intelligence, you can have faulty images that can give you very wrong impression, because you're a human being, you are not perfect. But I think we must ensure this does not happen again. I think that's what the government owes us. No matter how much compensation we want to pay, you can't bring back those people that are dead. The government must ensure the people that are in charge must be trained. And the primary thing is that if you see 20 terrorists and there are 2 innocent people among them, your primary concern should be how to preserve those two people. Not that I want to bomb because these people are there. So even if there are terrorists in the midst of these civilians, I mean, the best thing is to allow them to go for that moment and wait until the time you can get the terrorists isolated and then deal with them, in an isolated manner.
This one, they were not even
there. They were even told they were celebrating, Islamic festival. And then you also went out. So
do you remember that army chief in Iran that the American took out?
Yes.
It's close to the
Suleiman.
Airport.
Suleiman, yes.
As it was.
It was a drone attack, but it was perfectly done. He did it with accuracy, took him out and some of his bodyguards too. So it's
we have monitored him.
Yeah, of course. Because if they had failed to deliver the bomb on target and kill innocent people, the reputational damage to America, they won't be able to overcome it. So they knew, yes, it's an enemy territory, we are looking for someone, but you must get that person. You must get that person. It's the same way that America has managed to kill some terrorist leaders. ISIS will name a leader, after a while America will kill the leader.
Killing leaders
yes,
upon leaders.
Kill the leader, kill their wives, people around them. But to go and be killing innocent people, our own, I'm worried because sometime last year, we were talking about a market, in a marketplace, you drop the bomb in a marketplace in Zamfara. Our people have paid so much with their lives over this terrorism and banditry, and we have not defeated the enemy. We have not defeated the enemy, and it shows. So we need to take extra steps, because our country is a complex country. Before you know it, some will say, oh, somebody said it was deliberate. That if it wasn't deliberate, why did they drop that? They dropped the bombs twice. That the drone dropped the bomb twice. That shows that it was deliberate. You can't say it's deliberate. You can't. You can't say it's deliberate.
What will be the aim?
It's not deliberate.
Killing innocent.
What is there? I mean, it's just.
We started reading meanings.
Some Christians also died in the thing because it's a community with mixed Christian and Muslim population. Even the district head of Rigasa, when they interviewed him, he said yes, that they lost some Christians too, because their community, both religions are fairly represented.
How will the drones
identify your religion?
Identify religion. Nigerians are very funny people.
I don't know. Just to avoid these things, every little opportunity, some people, because they hate the government, they want to blame the government for everything, including things that happened during the last administration. But again, you have to keep working hard to ensure that these things don't happen again. And the way we can do it is, let's have a thorough, open investigation of what happened, so that we can learn lessons. We are talking about what happened in Iran, Kalabalge, Zamfara, and other places. Was there any report? Was there any investigation? We just dropped the bombs to kill innocent people. After a few hues and cries, it ends there. No investigation, no attempt,
would have been swept under the carpet.
Yes, no one won't talk about it. You just apologize and we move on. Is this one that the people are asking questions and demanding that there should be a thorough investigation? Maybe now, with a new administration, we will be able to do a thorough investigation and see how we can stop this happening again in future.
We know the time in Nigeria that one day, one trouble, but some people will just wait for the time to just relapse and we'll move on.
No, I believe, you know, with the wave this particular one has generated, you know, we need to come out with a report, just like I said, you know, transparent investigation, so that we know who was actually responsible, and people must see that justice has been done. And if possible, with all the past cases, you know, since for the past years, we need to investigate and find out what actually happened. That is the only way we can prevent future reoccurrence.
All right, moving on now.